Good morning, YouTube. This is Spirit Journey. Today is November 11th, 2015, and it's approaching 8 a.m. in the morning. And wow, my mind is quiet. And I'm just thinking right now. I was in the kitchen a moment ago, and this thought came to my mind, and I just want to share it before I forget. I was thinking about how in life, we may ask for certain things that, pray to the universe or to your God or your higher power, and you say, oh, I've been asking this and I'm not getting answers, you don't hear me, blah, blah, blah. And then I started thinking about my mother. My mother's 86 years old. She's relatively very healthy. She's mobile. She could drive. She does her own cooking. She lives in a house by herself. And she would say, I wish you, would call more often, or hey, when you going to come by? And those are valid, concerns, if it's true. And why I say it like that is this, that maybe the universe, I might say, universe or God or whatever, such and such. And I often say the same thing, how can you not listening to me? I feel alone. And there was an analogy with my mom. My mother may say that, hey, I wish you would call more often. And the thing is, I do call. But there's a problem. And the problem is not my calling. The problem is that sometimes when I call, she may be out and she has an answering machine. And there's a problem. She doesn't like using her answering machine. My mother, from as far back as I could remember, refuses technology. She refused technology in her early 50s with the cash register. Back it was either the late 70s, early 80s. She worked for a department store, major department store, and I remember her saying that the cash register is going electronic, and she had a big problem with it. So with the answer machine, the same thing. She, is someone, you just dial your phone and you pick up, you talk and hang up, and anything outside of that, she refuses. And I have siblings that bought her things of communication, like the answer machine, a high-end computer, things like that, so that she could communicate with her kids and vice versa. But she refuses. And so when things that she wants in life, like communication, is being thwarted because her resistance. And so I said to her, well, Mom, I called and I left a message. She said, oh, I didn't know that you called and I didn't know you left a message. I said, well, the answer machine is it's blinking. When you say blinking, you just press this one button. That's all you have to do. I don't. And then she starts arguing. So I think this is what life could be like with me and other people, that we may be asking for something and the universe is responding to us, but we refuse certain means of communication. Or like one time I called her in advance because I wanted to come by and see her. And I wanted to make sure that she didn't have a doctor's appointment, anything. So I asked her to check her calendar. I said, I want to come by such and such day. I said, but just make sure you don't have any appointment. I don't want you to miss an appointment, or if you have something, I could always make it for another day. And so It was for her birthday, actually. And my coming from a big family, we all want, I guess we all want her attention and, our purpose with her, So we all kind of like, I guess you get this day to celebrate with her or that day. And so I wanted a day for myself with her. So she puts it on the calendar, the day I'm supposed to come by to celebrate her birthday. And guess what? You know, um, I come by and it's snowing outside and everything, and it takes like an hour and a half to get to our house. And I'm ringing the bell, and no answer. I see a car in the driveway. Well, in short, my other sibling and their spouse had come by earlier that day, and they went out with her. I didn't sense in my spirit that something was wrong. I didn't recognize the car that was out there. My sibling had rented a car to get to her house, but then used mass transit to get to the city, because of the weather. And so I was worried, but I said, I know there's nothing wrong. Her own car was in the garage, and this other car on the on the driveway. But I knew something was not wrong, and I had to go to a neighbor's to stay there for a while, to warm up. I didn't want to leave and go back to the city. So eventually, I called. I asked my neighbor if I could use the phone to make a phone call to try to track her down where she could be. And what happened was, okay, this sibling brought her out, to celebrate her birthday, and they came home safely. And when I asked my mother what happened, and she didn't really know what to say. Then my sibling and the spouse said, "Oh, yeah, we inquired about that because we noticed when we looked on her calendar, and her calendar is open, it's on the wall, so anyone who goes in that room will see the calendar." And they say, "Hey, we see that Azalea's supposed to come by." Then my mother says, "Oh, well, she called me and said that she's not going to come by after all." He said, "You're sure, because it's on the calendar?" "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah." And my mother, it might have been just a senior moment. I don't believe she would just make up a story, but that's what happened. And that's what she told my sibling, their spouse. And so, again, that our processing, we may think that something happened or that someone said something, but they didn't. But you believe. And so we have to be in tune. So I guess in a nutshell, that sometimes we're asking God, the universe, or even human beings certain things, but we have to be receptive. That means we have to be listening. And part of listening, okay, make sure we look on our calendar correctly. She could have called to verify, "Hey, are you on your way, Azalea? We see the calendar, but I thought you might have said you're not coming. Well, the weather's really bad, but I just want to make sure, that could have been the case." Or with what was the other thing? With the telephone, and don't want to use your answer machine. Well, maybe sometimes our higher consciousness, whatever, requires certain advancements in us, to use those resources that they give us. But if we don't use what's given to us freely, again, my mother didn't buy the answer machine, but it was given to her. And so sometimes God gives us stuff, but we fail to use it because we want to use it. We want things our way. And so that's what just triggered in me. My listening to my higher self I wanted to look at it on my own terms. I think that's what could have happened, you know? So I have to learn how to listen correctly and, make sure no distractions. Because again, even with the telephone, one time with my mom, not only did I telephone her when I was at her door, I also rang her bell numerous times. She wasn't answering both the telephone nor the doorbell, you know? So, so we really have to stay connected. We have to quiet down, and that, like I did tell my mom that I was on my way coming by, and so I thought she would make sure she puts on her hearing aid, to start to get dressed, whatever. And if you know you're hard of hearing, okay, don't have your television on loud so that you can hear the telephone or the doorbell. So that's also with me too. Okay, if I want to hear God um, or my higher consciousness, I have to make sure I don't have all those distractions going on. And I think that's what's happening. I was using all these devices and my iPad, my iPhone, and computers, and I'm not going within because I'm so distracted and get anxious at times because I want to hear my God or higher consciousness, and then I lack to hear because I'm too busy. So this was insight that I just discovered within myself, and so that's all. So let me know what you think. You could just comment below, or give your feedbacks. If this is happening to you, um, you could share this video with friends or family, and you could subscribe. And once again, to give me the thumbs up for this video. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. See you guys. Bye-bye.